following those instructions. Today's schedule is we have a number of witnesses, so we're going to start as soon as I'm done talking, and then we'll get right back into the Commonwealth's case. We'll take a break mid-morning, and then we'll continue till 1 o'clock, and then I anticipate that we'll go somewhat into the afternoon, but we'll just kind of have to see what the evidence is, if any other issues come up that I have to deal with that doesn't concern you. So with that, I'm going to turn this over at this point to the Commonwealth. Ready to call your next witness?
Yes, Your Honor. The Commonwealth calls Dr. Kimberly Springer.
Just for the record, we do the same objection.
Okay, thank you. Same rule.
Good morning, ma'am. Start right here, raise your right hand for the clerk.
Good morning. We solemnly say that the testimony in the evidence you shall give to the court and the jury will
All right, good morning, Doctor.
Good morning.
All right, Commonwealth, could I see Counselor Sylvia for a second? Just for Does that work better for everybody? Okay, all right. All right, Commonwealth?
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning. Can you please state and spell your name for the record?
Yes, it's Kimberly Springer, Kimberley Springer.
Where do you work?
At the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner in Boston, Massachusetts.
And are you a medical examiner?
I am.
How long have you done that?
20 years.
Can you describe for us your educational background?
Yes, 4 years of college at Wellesley College in Wellesley, Massachusetts. 4 years of medical school at the Chicago Medical School in North Chicago, Illinois. 4 years of residency training in anatomic and clinical pathology, which is hospital-based pathology at the Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston, Massachusetts. And 1 year of fellowship training in forensic pathology at the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner, which is where I now work.
And throughout that 20 years at the medical examiner's office, have you conducted autopsies?
I have.
Approximately how many?
Over 2,000.
And have you testified in courts in the Commonwealth about these autopsies?
I have.
Can you explain to the jurors what is an autopsy?
Yes. An autopsy is a tool by which we examine the whole body in an effort to determine cause of death. And it's comprised of 2 parts: an external examination, where we look for identifying characteristics such as height and weight, evidence of medical therapy, and evidence of trauma and disease. We may take evidence as appropriate, and then we turn to the internal examination, making surgical-like incisions and examining each of the internal organs, again looking for evidence of trauma and disease, and taking additional samples for other tests such as toxicology.
And I want to direct your attention to January 29th, 2023. Did you perform an autopsy on Callan Patrick Clancy?
I did.
And when you performed this autopsy, did you follow the procedure you just described, where you did an external examination and then an internal examination?
Yes.
And can you tell us what your initial observations were of Callan when you started the external examination?
Yes. So Callan had some therapeutic procedures in place, or therapeutic equipment in place, including a thermometer in the left nostril, a nasogastric tube in the right, an endotracheal tube down the throat, a Foley catheter draining urine, intravascular catheters in the right hand and right wrist, and an intravascular catheter in the left foot. There was some adhesive residue, possibly from other therapeutic procedures as well, on his chest. And there are additional needle marks that I saw on his body. In general, should I keep going? Or?
Well, what were your general observations?
In general, he was, we measured him at 26 inches long and 24 pounds. He had general edema, and those are the general.
So when you were talking about therapeutic things, are those things that were done by a medical provider at a hospital or some such setting?
Correct.
Okay. And what do you mean when you say he had general edema?
It means that he had his whole body had more fluid than one would expect in a person or an 8-month-old who had not been in the hospital. It's very common for someone coming from the hospital to have had been given fluids such that they have excess fluid and swelling.
Did you make observations of any injuries or trauma to Callan?
Yes.
Okay. If we could have photo 9960.
Hold on, let me just, members of the jury, I just want to give you, kind of revisit that instruction that I talked to you last week about. If you may remember, we talked about before they played that tape, all right? I just want to remind you that sometimes evidence is presented in the trial that creates emotional reactions. But as jurors who've taken an oath to follow the law, I'm instructing you, as I did last week, you must separate any emotional reaction on your part from the informational value and the weight from the evidence. You must not be influenced in any way by the unpleasant nature of the photographs and testimony that you're going to hear this morning or throughout the whole trial as well. So you must find the facts in this case based only on the evidence. But you can't find those facts or base those facts on sympathy, anger, passion, prejudice, or pity against either side. So I appreciate that. I just kind of wanted to remind you of that. And with that, come on.
Thank you, Your Honor. So photo 9960. Is that on the screen, Doctor?
Not yet. Yes. Okay, thank you.
If you could just describe for us what we're seeing here in this photo.
So this is a photograph of Callan at the time of autopsy, and I'm showing a ruler underneath his neck, where above which you can see abrasions, and you can also see some needle marks that I mentioned from therapeutic procedures on his arm.
Sorry, if you could use the tool, pressing the top button there, just to highlight the area you're talking about, the abrasions on the neck.
Right here on his right side of his neck, and then in the middle of the neck, and on the left side of the neck.
And if we could now have photograph 663. What we're seeing here in this photograph, Doctor?
This is another photograph showing a bit more closely, again, the abrasions of the neck. There's one on the front of the neck, the shorter one that's about half an inch long by 1/16 inch. For those more familiar with the metric system, a centimeter is 2.5 centimeters is about an inch. A 1/16 of an inch is about 1.5 millimeters. So this is half an inch by 1/16 inch. And then on the right here, this is about 1.5 inches by a 1/16 inch.
And then showing 9952.
May I go back to that for 1 second?
Go back.
For
Could
one.
we go back to that photo, please? 9960. I'm sorry, 663.
I just want to point out between the ruler and the abrasions, you can see a paler line. That's a normal infant neck fold. That's not a injury.
Juthank you. And 9952, please. If you could just point out for us here the injuries of significance to you.
Here, sorry, I think I did that.
We could go back to the prior photo, please.
I got it.
It's the top line. There you
Yep.
go.
Okay, so these again are the abrasions on the left side of his neck, and there's the one on the front of his neck. In addition, on the left side of his forehead is a 3/16 inch by 1/16 inch abrasion, and I think you can also begin to see petechial hemorrhages, which are dot-like hemorrhages underneath the skin on the face.
And what are petechial hemorrhages?
Petechial hemorrhages occur when there is rupture of the small blood vessels underneath the skin surface, and they are from an overpressure of the small blood vessels such as capillaries or venules, and blood escapes out and makes a dot-like hemorrhage.
We could have photo 9954. If you could explain for us what we're seeing in this photograph, please.
In this photograph is Callan's right side, also showing the back of his neck. So that abrasion that could be seen in the first photo showing the front of his neck, that abrasion continues along about 3 inches in all toward the right posterior or back of the neck.
And if we could have photo 9955, please. Is this a close-up photograph of what you just described?
Yes, I can show that right here.
Thank you. Could we have photo 636, please? And if you could describe for us what you see here in this photo, Doctor.
First the abrasion is in poor focus, but it's in the picture on the left side of the photograph, and then the most in the photograph, one can see those petechial hemorrhages better along the cheek, on the eyelid, all of those.
We could have photo 654, please. Can you describe what we're seeing in this photograph, Doctor?
Yes, this is an abrasion near the hairline on the right side of the forehead, and that is up here. That is about 3/8 by 1/8 inch.
And then photo 656, please. Can you describe what we're seeing in this photo here, Doctor?
This is looking at the top of Callan's head, and on the top right part of his head toward the front, near the forehead, is a 1/8 by 1/16 inch abrasion.
And then photo 657, please. You can describe what we're seeing here, Doctor?
This is the abrasion on the left side of his forehead with a ruler this time. In addition, the petechiae are also in pretty good focus on this.
And then photograph 9916. If you can describe for us what we're seeing in this photograph, please.
So these are some of the, I forgot to mention at the very beginning, there's a intravascular catheter in the right groin. This is Callan before we took off his medical therapy, and it shows some of the needle marks that he had. So on this is his right lower extremity. This is a look of an intraosseous catheter attempt with a central puncture mark and a round abrasion around it. And then here's the right groin line and the left foot line.
And if we could have photograph 9917. Are we seeing the same thing here on the left leg, those same IO attempt marks?
Exactly, yes.
Thank you. Doctor, are you able to date the wounds to the head, the abrasions and marks on the head? Are you able to say when those got there or how long they'd been there?
I can't precisely, but they have signs of healing in the form of scabbing.
And would that indicate that they weren't fresh wounds that happened the day you saw him or the day prior?
Correct.
In terms of the marks around Callan's neck and the petechiae around his eyes and face, did that give you an indication here of the mechanism of death for Callan?
Yes.
And how so?
So it is consistent with a ligature strangulation, given that the abrasions are linear around his neck and there are petechial hemorrhages above those lines of abrasion.
And how is it that when someone is strangled with the ligature, that causes petechiae in the face and eyes?
So what happens is that the blood vessels that supply blood to the neck are compressed. And so there are jugular veins, which are a lower pressure system, and the carotid arteries, which are a somewhat higher pressure system. And so as the vessels are compressed, if there is a backup of blood in the head, there can be an increased pressure in those small blood vessels that I mentioned, and they can rupture, causing the petechiae.
But basically, is it similar to a balloon filling up, but it's not air, it's blood and pressure in the face?
Yes.
And so when that pressure gets too great, is it that the capillaries are basically bursting and causing those little red marks?
Yes. Most texts say capillaries, some say venules, the small blood vessels.
And how is it that this process, the strangulation by ligature, causes death physically? How does it physically happen?
So the blockage of blood, either both to and from the head or just from the head, will cause a lack of oxygen to arrive at the brain. And there can be an element of airway compression as well, such that the lungs can't oxygenate properly. So that lack of oxygen is what causes the brain to die and the organs to fail.
And based on your examination of Callan, did you come to a determination based on your training and experience to a reasonable degree of medical certainty as to the cause of his death?
Yes.
And what was that?
Complications of mechanical asphyxia.
And why is it complications of mechanical asphyxia instead of just the asphyxia itself?
Because he was resuscitated, and so his heart began to beat again. So from the 24th to the 27th, there was a continuation of support of his organs in the hospital. And so if he had he had a stopped heart at the scene. And in that case, I would have just said mechanical asphyxia. But since there was a 3-day hospital stay, I said complications of mechanical asphyxia.
So the word complications doesn't mean that something happened at the hospital to cause his death. It's just that the strangulation caused his death, but he didn't die for a few days.
Correct.
Commonwealth would move to submit the autopsy photos as the next exhibit.
Same objection.
Same objection. They may be admitted.
Commonwealth would move to submit the death certificate of Callan Patrick Clancy as the next exhibit.
No objection.
That may be admitted.
I have nothing further.
Counsel?
No, thank you.
All right. Thank you. You may step down, Doctor.
Thank you.
All right, Counsel, can I see just briefly? Short break at this time. A couple of minutes, okay?
Court, all rise. Jurors, please close the door, folks. Place them on chairs.
All right, this court will be in recess.
purpose of the record, we return back to the matter of Commonwealth versus Lindsay Clancy. All parties are present, including the defendant, excluding the jury.
All right. Counsel, we ready for the jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Officer Bilal, bring in the jury.
Court, all rise. Jurors entering. This court's now in session. Please be seated.
Your Honor, for the purpose of the record, we return back to the trial of Commonwealth versus Lindsay Clancy. All parties are present, including the defendant and including the 18 jurors.
All right, thank you, everyone. So we're going to now return to the Commonwealth's case. Attorney Sprague?
Thank you, Your Honor. Commonwealth calls Dr. Lindsay Rochert.
Good morning. Can you stop right there? Raise your right hand to the clerk.
Good morning. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony in the evidence you shall give Yes, you may have a seat.
Just watch your step, please.
All right, good morning, Doctor.
Good morning.
Attorney Sprague?
Thank you. Good morning. Can you please state and spell your name for the record?
Lindsay Rochert, Lindsay Rosshirt.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm a pediatrician.
Where do you work?
I work at Quincy Pediatrics.
Back in 2023, where did you work?
South Shore Medical Center.
And how long had you worked there at that point?
In 2023, I think I had been there for about 7 years.
And could you just briefly describe for us your educational and training background that enables you to be a pediatrician?
Yes, I completed medical school at UConn and then did my pediatrics residency at Mass General.
And when you were working at the South Shore practice in 2023, were you assigned as a pediatrician for the Clancy family?
Yes.
And how long had you been their pediatrician?
I'm sorry, how long had I, can you repeat that question?
How long had you been the family pediatrician for the Clancys?
I believe I started seeing them around 2019.
And in the practice that you were in at that time, was it just yourself or were there other doctors and nurse practitioners and staff that would treat and see patients?
It was a somewhat large group.
And so would you always be the one treating the Clancy children, or would some of your associates sometimes see the children?
I did all the checkups, but if there was a sickness and I wasn't there that day, they would be seen by another provider.
And by checkup, are you referring to a physical or well visit?
Yes.
And then if, for example, one of the children were ill and the family called to make an appointment, they would see who's available?
Yes, they would always check my schedule first, but often have to see someone else.
And would you have access to their records as their lead pediatrician to review if they came in for a sick visit or something like that to keep yourself updated?
Yeah, often at the time of the checkup is when we will go back and see what visits they've had since the last time we saw them.
This time would move to submit the pediatric records from South Shore Medical Center for Cora, Dawson, and Clancy.
Any objection?
By agreement.
They may be admitted.
Thank you. If we could focus for a moment on Callan Clancy. He was born in May of 2022, correct?
That sounds right, yes.
And you were his pediatrician from the time he was born?
Yes.
While you were his pediatrician, did his mother, Lindsay Clancy, ever talk to you about Callan having issues taking a bottle?
Not that I can remember.
Was there anything out of the ordinary health-wise with Callan?
No.
Was there any issues, or were there any issues with him meeting his milestones?
No.
What about Dawson Clancy? Did he have any health issues or concerns that you were aware of?
If I recall correctly from the notes, I think just a peanut allergy, if I remember, but otherwise he was healthy.
And Cora Clancy, did she have any medical issues?
I think asthma, that was pretty well controlled, but she was also healthy.
Now, in your role as a pediatrician, are you aware of postpartum issues, and are there certain things that you look for in new moms when you're treating babies?
Yes, we're certainly aware of it, and we try to look for any kind of outward signs at some of the initial newborn visits. Do you want me to elaborate?
Yes, please.
So, for example, things we might look for would be if a mom is kind of has a flat affect, or not really making eye contact, or tearful, or having trouble bonding with the baby.
And if there are those issues that you see, do you document them in the medical records?
Yes.
And what do you do in terms of treatment or care when you see those things?
Yes. So since we're obviously caring for the child, we are not really able to diagnose or manage anything for the mom, but we do try to connect her with resources, whether Massachusetts has some postpartum resources, or often we'll refer to have her try to contact her OB.
When you were interacting with Lindsay Clancy, when you were treating her 3 children, did you ever see the need to refer her for any of those services?
No.
And did you ever see any of those visible signs that you talked about, the flat affect or anything like that, when you were interacting with her?
I don't remember anything like that, no.
Now, I want to ask you about some of the things that are in the medical record that the jurors will see, so that you can just kind of explain what they'll be looking at. Showing you a record here from January 18th, 2023. Issues with the brightness, I'll just bring it to you. You just look that over, and is that consistent with the medical records from your practice?
Yes.
And so, for example, with this visit, Callan Clancy, 7-month-old male, here with mom for bilateral ear pulling and fussiness. So is that typical in the medical records, where you'll document the patient being seen, the age, who they're there with, and what the issue is?
Yes.
Okay. And how do you get a history? Say when a kid comes in and they're sick, how do you get the history of their symptoms and what's going on with them?
So we usually do a brief review in the chart just to know what their anything on their so-called problem list for medical conditions, and then in the room we ask the parent the story. In pediatrics, usually we have to rely on a guardian.
Especially when it's like a 7-month-old who can't speak for themselves. So it would be whichever parent or person is there giving you their concerns and the symptoms, and communicating with about what's going on.
Yes.
And if there were any issues with communicating with the parent present, would that be documented in the medical records?
Yes.
And you saw Cora Clancy on January 24th, 2023 for a physical, correct?
Yes.
And as you stated earlier, prior to seeing her for the physical, did you look over her chart to see if she had been in recently with any illnesses or anything like that?
Yes, I would have done that.
And so would you have seen this note when her mother brought her in on December 27th, 2022, with some vomiting and sore throat.
Yes.
And again, if there had been concerns at that appointment, they would have been noted in the record?
Yes.
And then as the pediatrician, if you'd seen some concerns, would you have addressed them with the parent?
Yes.
And that didn't happen on January 24th, correct?
Correct.
And speaking specifically to January 24th, 2023, that was Cora's 5-year physical, is that right?
Yes.
And sometimes in the record it's called a well visit?
Yes.
And what were your observations of Cora that day?
As far as I can recall, it was a very normal visit. Cora seemed to be behaving normally. I mean, no kid's happy to be there for a checkup, but I didn't notice anything out of the norm. She seemed perfectly well behaved, and Mom seemed appropriate as well.
Mom seemed appropriate?
Yes.
Did you notice anything out of the ordinary about Lindsay Clancy's demeanor or behavior or interaction with you?
No.
Was she able to give you a history of how Cora was doing and what milestones she was meeting?
Yes.
Was she able to answer your questions?
Yes.
Did you have any trouble understanding her at any point?
No.
Did she seem to have any trouble understanding you?
No.
Did she have, visible tears or a flat affect or anything like that?
No.
Did you have a discussion with Lindsay Clancy about Cora having some stomach aches?
Yes.
And what was your evaluation of that and your recommendation?
So we talked about the belly pain she was having. From what I could tell, I thought constipation might be possible because it's something we see a lot in kids. So I had suggested we try Miralax, which is a common stool softener we use, and wanted her to see me within 2 weeks if Cora wasn't feeling better.
Okay. And when you recommended the Miralax, was Lindsay Clancy receptive to that?
Yes, I believe so.
I have no further questions. Thank you.
Attorney Reddington.
Morning.
Good morning.
What's the time frame that you dealt with the Clancy children? Because you took care of all 3 of them, right?
All 3.
Right.
Yeah. Cora, I believe, was around 9 months old. So I want to say that I saw them from about 2019 until 2013.
And when you would see the children, who would bring the children to see you for the checkups? Was it Lindsay, or was it Lindsay and Patrick, or was it?
I think that Lindsay and Patrick came together for one of Cora's checkups, but as far as I can remember, every other visit was always Lindsay.
And being an experienced pediatrician and being very protective of your patients, little kids, you're always looking to see if there's anything out of the ordinary, bruising, anything indicative of any type of psychiatric problems they may have, stunted growth or anything. Is that correct?
Yes.
You're always on the lookout for anything else, even if it's not mentioned to you, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Did you ever notice anything like that on the Clancy kids?
No.
Did they seem healthy?
Yes.
Did they seem happy?
Yes.
And in all the times that you would see Lindsay with the kids at your office, did she appear to be a doting or concerned mother for the children?
Yes, she did.
One of the questions that the DA had asked you is whether or not you're familiar with postpartum depression, postpartum psychosis, things of that nature. Would you agree with me, in your experience, extensive as it is, that a person can be suffering from postpartum depression and or postpartum psychosis and still talk?
I'm not sure I have enough expertise to explain to answer that well.
That's fine. That's fine. Thank you.
Yeah.
Was Lindsay the type of person, to your observation and your treatment of her, that she was kind of like, was she like a complainer? Would she complain to you about the kids being a pain in the neck and that she was aggravated with the children or anything like that?
Not that I remember, no.
In all of the times that you had seen her, let's focus, say, on the year of 2022 up through 2023, January 24th, when you saw the children, I'm sorry, Cora, I believe it was, last. Counsel had asked you whether or not you made any observations that you would have noted if she appeared to be suffering from any symptomology of postpartum. Do you recall her asking you that?
Yes.
And in your treatment of the children and in your observations of Lindsay, did you know, or did she indicate to you, or did Patrick indicate to you, or anybody indicate to you, that in October of 2022, she was seeing a psychiatrist?
No.
Do you know Dr. Tufts?
No.
Did you know that after seeing Dr. Tufts that she was placed on a selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor, SSRI, Zoloft?
No, I didn't know that.
And again, you're the pediatrician. It's not your job to pry. I mean, if you see something, you would make note of it and try to help them out. But I mean, if they don't tell you, you don't know, right? Did you know, fair to say that you didn't know that she was then seeing a Dr. Paul, and then Paul left the practice and nurse practitioner Gelada?
I didn't know that.
Okay. Do you know them?
No.
The only reason why I ask if you know them is that South Shore Medical Center, is that affiliated with South Shore Hospital?
I believe it was already owned by the hospital at that time.
Okay. Latasha Dukes, nothing about her?
No.
Any medications? Did you know about her being on any medications?
No, I didn't.
She didn't complain to you and say that she had insomnia and that she was unable to sleep or having difficulty like that?
Not that I can remember.
Did you know that she called the suicide hotline twice towards the end of December?
Overruled.
I did not know that.
Okay. Did you know that she had been to Mass General Hospital and then ultimately on New Year's of 2022 into 2023 self-admitted to McLean Mental Institution?
I didn't know that.
So when you saw her on January 24th, you did not know that she had been to McLean Hospital and had been on medications or anything, right?
That's correct.
Because again, she wasn't a complainer.
Correct.
She was a hell of a mother, wasn't she?
I always thought she was a good mom.
Thank you.
Redirect?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
Commonwealth calls Susan Freon.
Watch your step, please.
Morning.
Morning.
All right. I'm going to ask you to keep your voice up and speak into that microphone. All right. Attorney Sprague, please.
Thank you. Can you please state and spell your name for the record?
Susan Freone, SUSAN FRAONE,
And your date of birth?
11/26/82.
Where do you work?
Learning Sprouts,
And how long have you been working at Learning Sprouts?
almost 6 years.
What is Learning Sprouts?
Preschool, daycare.
What age range of kids attend Learning Sprouts?
15 months to about 5 years.
And what age range do you teach?
The about 3-year-olds to 4-year-olds.
And back in January of 2023, what age range were you focused on
The
teaching?
3-year-old, 4-year-olds.
Was Dawson Clancy in your classroom?
Yes.
When did he start in your classroom?
September of 22?
And did you know Cora Clancy as well?
Yes.
How did you know Cora?
Most of the teachers help out in all the classrooms, so we get to know all the children.
And did you teach Dawson from September of 2022 until you went on maternity leave later on in 2022?
Yes.
Do you remember what month that was in that you went on leave?
November?
Prior to going on leave, so from September to November of 2022, were there any issues with Dawson?
He started having harder drop-offs around mid-October, I would say.
Is that typical for that age, or was that something unusual?
Sometimes, yes. It was a little not typical for Dawson.
So prior to that, he was fine at drop-offs, and then sometime in October, drop-offs became a little harder for him?
Yes.
And did that resolve over time?
Sometimes he would have better drop-offs, other times. But then I went on leave, so.
And after you went on leave, sometime after Thanksgiving of 2022, did you see Lindsay Clancy, Dawson's mother?
Don't really remember. I think I did.
Do you recall having a conversation with Lindsay where she asked you how your baby was and how you were doing?
Yes, we did have a conversation at some point because I was still bringing my oldest daughter to school every day.
Okay. And so you had your child in November, and then this conversation is sometime either around or after Thanksgiving?
Yes.
And when you had this conversation and interaction with Lindsay Clancy, was that at the school?
Yes.
And how was her demeanor?
Fine.
Was it any different than any other time you had seen her?
No.
Did she appear to understand you?
Yes.
Did you have any trouble understanding her?
No.
Did you have any concerns about her at that time?
No.
Was that the last time you saw her?
Yes.
And you're a mandated reporter, correct?
Yes.
So if you had seen anything about Dawson's behavior or about the parents' behavior at any point that caused you concern, you would have had to report that, correct?
Yes.
And at no time did you make any reports about the family or the children or the parents?
No.
When you had that conversation with Lindsay Clancy sometime in November of 2022, did she ever say anything about insomnia or not feeling well or being depressed or anything like that?
No.
Thank you.
Cross?
Morning.
So how long did you, in your capacity as a teacher at Learning Sprouts, know the Clancys?
I started at Learning Sprouts in November of 2020, and Cora was in preschool at the time.
Okay. So you obviously saw the kids on a fairly regular basis.
Yes.
And forgive me, what is a drop-off? What does that mean? I'm sorry.
When the parents drop the children off at school.
Okay. And when district attorney asked you were there difficult drop-offs, what does that mean?
Sometimes when parents drop the children off, they'll be a little clingy or they cry. Excuse me.
Okay.
Or they cry.
And that would be the child would cry, maybe the
Yes.
parent either, I don't know. But
Times.
so did they have difficult drop-offs on occasion, I guess, that Dawson
Yes.
would cry?
Yes.
How would Lindsay react? Was she okay? Did she seem concerned as a parent?
I wasn't seeing as much of Lindsay. I was seeing more of Patrick.
Okay. And Dawson appeared to be healthy and happy and engaged,
Yes.
as well as Cora?
Yes.
Thank you.
Nothing further.
All right, thank you, ma'am. You sit down, thank you.
Commonwealth would call Susan Bertolo as its next witness, please.
Watch your step, please.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, I'm going to ask you to speak into that microphone.
Okay.
All right? And keep your voice up so everybody can hear you.
Okay.
All right. Come on.
Thank you. Good morning. Could you please tell the jurors your first and last name?
Susan Bertolo.
And if you could just speak as loud as you can into that microphone, okay?
Yep.
Can you spell your last name for the record?
Bertolo.
And what city or town do you live in?
Plymouth, Massachusetts.
And where do you work?
Leaping Frogs Preschool.
Prior to working at Leaping Frogs, did you work at another preschool?
Yes.
Where was that?
Learning Sprouts in Duxbury.
And how long had you been with Learning Sprouts?
4 years.
Did you teach a particular age group at that preschool?
Yes, I taught the older preschool group.
Okay, and at Learning Sprouts, are the classes kind of divided up in some way?
They're divided by age, like toddlers, younger preschool, older preschool.
And is there a particular label to the rooms that they're in? Are they referred to in a particular way?
Yes, we were sunflowers.
So your group, the 3 to 5 year olds, is the Sunflower group?
Yes.
And can you tell us a little bit about how the day is broken up for kids in the Sunflower group?
Sure. So some children came in early at 8, and then the rest of the kids came in at 9:15. And then some were half day and some were full day.
And as far as, excuse me, your role with the kids in the Sunflower room, you primarily interacted with them in the mornings, correct?
Correct.
And when the kids get dropped off, is it fair to say the bulk of the kids get dropped off around 9?
Yes.
And does that happen kind of like in a wave where parents drop off and they're kind of taken into the room as a group?
Yes, so the way our classroom was set up, we met them. They were dropped off to us at the door, and then we brought them into our classroom.
And they stayed with you in that classroom throughout the morning, correct?
Yes.
And the kids who stayed for the afternoon, did they stay with you in the Sunflower room or did they go someplace else?
No, they did not stay with us. We closed up our room, and our kids, the majority of our kids, we had a couple, went over to the Sweet Pea room, which was across the hall.
And so are you familiar with Cora Clancy, or were you familiar with Cora?
Yes.
And was she in the Sunflower room with you?
Yes, she was.
Drawing your attention to September of 2022, what was her schedule, if you can recall?
I believe she was scheduled, I don't remember the days. I think she came 3 days.
Okay, and for the 3 days that she came, do you remember if she was just in the morning group, or were there any days that she eventually did an afternoon?
So in the beginning of the year, she was 3 days and then went full day. And then towards the end of her time in our room, she did one afternoon, I believe. No, I'm sorry, one half day.
Okay. So fair to say you then interacted with her at least 3 days
Yes.
in the morning, and then she went to the Sweet Pea room in the afternoon?
Yes.
And who was the teacher in the Sweet Pea room?
Stephanie.
Would you be present when Cora was dropped off in the morning?
Myself or my coworker, Karen. We took turns.
And fair to say there were always the two of you assigned to one room with the number of kids in the class?
Correct.
Now, as far as drop-offs for Cora, did you have the opportunity to interact with parents at drop-off?
Briefly.
And for Cora, who used to drop her off?
Both parents dropped off, Pat and Lindsay.
Did you see one parent more than the other?
I recall seeing Pat more, but we took turns, so we didn't really ask each other who dropped off.
When you say we took turns, you mean yourself and Karen?
Karen, correct.
Now, with the limited interaction at drop-off, did you have opportunities to interact in other ways with parents?
Yes.
And how did you interact with parents in other ways?
Email or typically our class dojo, which is an app for the class.
And that's something that can be done on the phone or a computer?
Correct.
And were the Clancys, meaning Patrick and Lindsay, fairly active or responsive to the dojo app?
Yes.
And do you know or do you recall who would be more responsive?
Lindsay.
How was Cora as a preschool student?
Amazing. She was wonderful.
Was she, in your opinion, ready for kindergarten?
Yes.
I'm going to draw your attention to January 23rd of 2023. Do you remember Cora coming that day?
Yep.
And do you recall who dropped her off?
I do not.
Did you notice anything different about Cora that day?
Yes.
And what was different?
She needed to use the bathroom several times more than she normally would.
And is there a reason why that kind of stood out to you, that she used the bathroom more than often?
Yes, because our classroom did not have a bathroom in it, so we would go down at scheduled times before snack or lunch, and if a child needed to go, one of us would take that child, and that particular day, she went several times extra.
And so between you and Karen, you were kind of taking her more often to the bathroom. Was she complaining of any belly pain or any other issues?
She didn't complain.
But the fact that she asked to use the bathroom was of note to you?
Yes.
And when Cora transitioned that afternoon to go to the Sweet Pea room with Stephanie, did you pass along those observations to the afternoon teacher?
Yes, I did, because that was something that you would want a parent to know. It was unusual.
And during that morning group, you didn't feel it was necessary to reach out to either Patrick or Lindsay to report that, did you?
No.
But you reported it to Stephanie to pass along for the afternoon?
Correct.
And on that particular afternoon, were you at Learning Sprouts during pickup time?
Yes, I was.
And that wasn't always the case, was it?
Not every day, but I often would help out in the toddler room if they needed me to stay, and that is what I had done that afternoon.
So on that particular afternoon at pickup time, did you have the occasion to see Lindsay Clancy?
Yes, I did.
And did you have an opportunity to speak with her?
Yep, we spoke quickly, and I just was letting her know, and she did already know, but we just spoke quickly that she had gone a few times.
So you were letting her know about Cora going to the bathroom?
Correct.
And how did she respond when you told her that?
She said, I don't remember exactly the words, but basically that she wasn't glad that she wasn't feeling well, but she already had a doctor's appointment the next day so that she would let them know.
And that interaction was fairly brief, correct?
Correct.
But appropriate?
Yep.
And they left that day?
Yep.
Did you notice anything different about Lindsay Clancy after you told her that or in that brief interaction than any of your other interactions with her?
No.
And you are a mandated reporter at the preschool?
Correct.
So if a child were to come in with any concerning marks or bruises or was saying something about things that were happening in the household, you would be required to report those to the Department of Children and Families?
Yes.
Any concerns or reports regarding the Clancy family at all during the time that you were Cora's teacher?
Never.
And do you recall if Cora ever mentioned to you during class, during the time that you were teaching in the morning classes, a time when her mom was in the hospital?
Yes.
And what do you recall about that?
Just that she missed her mom, and she was vocal about that.
Do you remember about when that was, that she said something about her mom being in the hospital?
It was I can't remember if it was in December or January. I just remember that it was said.
But fair to say it was closer in time to the last time you saw her as opposed to the beginning of the school year?
Yes.
Just to briefly go back to Cora's schedule, I know you say you can't remember exactly which days she came, but by January of 2023, Cora was coming for 3 full days and 1 half day, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Reddington.
No questions, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Step down. Thank you.
The Commonwealth would call Stephanie Williams as its next witness, please.
and raise your right hand for the clerk, please.
Good morning. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony and the evidence you shall give to the court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you, ma'am. You may have a seat.
Watch your step, please.
Hey, good morning.
Morning.
I'm going to ask you to speak into that microphone. Keep your
Okay.
voice up. Pull that down a little bit
Yes.
for you. That's it. All right. Counsel.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Could you please tell the jurors your first and last name?
Stephanie Williams?
And Williams, that's just common spelling.
Yes.
What city or town do you live in?
I live in Sagamore Beach.
And what do you do for work?
I'm a pre-K teacher
And where do you work?
at Learning Sprouts Children's Center
And where is that located?
in Duxbury.
And how long have you worked for Learning Sprouts?
About 6.5 years.
What age group do you teach?
I generally teach the pre-K children, the 4-year-olds that are going to be turning 5 and going to kindergarten.
And at the Learning Sprouts preschool, fair to say that the different rooms are given a name?
Yes.
And what room did you work in, or do you work in?
Currently, right now, I work in the Sweet Pea classroom. When I first started there, I worked in the orange classroom.
And I'm going to draw your attention to the fall of 2022, September, into January of 2023. Were you in the Sweet Pea room then?
Yes,
And how many people would, teachers would be in the Sweet Pea room with you?
I was the only teacher in that room.
Was it a full day program for you in the Sweet Pea room?
Yes.
And were there some kids of that age group, the 4 and 5-year-olds, that would only be there in your Sweet Pea room in the afternoon?
Yes.
Those kids, where would they usually be in the morning?
In the sunflower class.
And fair to say, the sunflower class was more academic curriculum based, and the Sweet Pea room was not in the afternoon.
No. Oh, in the afternoon, yes.
So tell us a little bit about what afternoons would be like.
Basically, they would go outside to play. They would be playing in the room. They would take rest time, and then they would get up, have an afternoon snack, and then if there was time permitting, they would be able to play in the classroom or color, do artwork.
And generally, the afternoon kids in the Sweet Pea room, they'd go until 4, right?
Yes.
And that was the time for pickup for most of the kids?
Yes, that's when we close at 4 o'clock.
Okay. Did you know Cora Clancy?
Yes, I did.
And how did you know her?
I was Cora's teacher when I first started at Learning Sprouts when she was 3. Mm-hmm. And then she came into my classroom in the afternoons from September to January.
So from September of 2022, when she's still 4, into January of 2023, after she had turned 5,
Yes.
she would come 3 afternoons into your classroom?
It was first 3, then it switched to 4 afternoons.
Now, when she would come to your classroom in the afternoon, what would she be coming into? Is it snack time, nap time, rest time?
Usually it would be getting ready for rest.
And would she be brought to your classroom by one of the teachers downstairs or at the sunflower room?
Yes.
And you're familiar with Susan and Karen as the teachers in the sunflower
Yes.
room? Now, how would you describe Cora?
She was a sweet little girl who loved her little brother. She loved to draw, play with babies, play princess. She liked Princess Sophia.
How did you know she liked Princess Sophia?
Because she would pretend to be Princess Sophia, and she always talked about it. And I had actually bought a Princess Sophia puzzle for her.
Now, I'm going to draw your attention to January of 2023, more specifically the 23rd. Did Cora come to your classroom that afternoon?
Yes, she did.
And did you observe anything different about her?
She hadn't been feeling well, and the teachers from the sunflower class had told me that she wasn't feeling that well.
Did you observe that of her as well?
Well, she did nap, and then she, when all the other children were getting up and getting ready to leave, you know, for the day, she was reluctant to get up off her cot and was still there when her mother came to get her.
Did Cora say anything to you why she wasn't feeling well, if she just felt...
I think she just said her tummy hurt.
And so you just kind of let her rest for the afternoon. And so who picked her up that day?
Lindsay.
And so normally in pickup, does the parent come to the classroom to pick up the child?
They usually come to the door and we send the child out.
And that would just be the door of the classroom, not the building?
Yes, because I had a door that led outside.
Okay. So on this particular afternoon, Lindsay Clancy came to pick Cora up at the door. And so what, if anything, did you tell Lindsay?
I told her that Cora had napped and she had said she wasn't feeling well, that the other teachers had told me that she hadn't been feeling well and that she was still laying on her cot.
And what did Lindsay say or do after you told her that?
She came into the classroom and picked her up off the cot and said, "Oh, baby, come on, let's go get Dawson and we'll go home."
And so at that moment, when she came to the classroom, she hadn't already picked Dawson up?
No, she went upstairs to pick Dawson up.
And when she came into the classroom and told you that and picked up Cora, did you notice anything different about her than any of the other times you had interacted with her?
No.
In any of the time that you had interacted with Lindsay Clancy from September of 2022 to January 23rd of 2023, did you notice anything different about her?
No, she was just a very loving mother who cared about her children.
And did she share anything with you about her family or about anything that was going on in her household at that time?
No.
And you, as a preschool teacher, are a mandated reporter, correct?
Yes, I am.
So if you were to observe something either on the child or from what the child said or behavior of a parent, you would be required to report that?
Yes, I would.
And as far as the Clancy family went, you didn't notice anything and you didn't report anything, did you?
No.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Reddington.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. May step down. Thank you.
Watch your step.
Commonwealth calls Andrea Hennigan.
Good morning. Can you start right here, raise your right hand to the clerk, please? This way, please. Watch your step, please. You're welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. I'm going to ask you to speak into that microphone. Keep your voice up so all the jurors can hear you, okay?
Yes.
All right. Perfect. Ms. Sprague.
Thank you. Good morning. Can you please state and spell your name for the record?
Andrea Hennigan, ANDREAHENNIGAN.
And your date of birth?
March 11th, 1976.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a registered nurse.
And where do you work?
Massachusetts General Hospital.
And do you work at any specific department there?
Labor and delivery.
How long have you been a labor and delivery nurse at Mass General?
25 years.
And as part of your training and work in labor and delivery, are you trained in recognizing or helping new mothers who seem to be having issues with postpartum?
Do you mean postpartum depression?
Yes.
I don't have formal training in that area, and I mostly see women before they give birth and immediately afterwards in the first 2 hours after they give birth. If they come back to the hospital during the postpartum period for a concern, we do screen patients for postpartum depression.
And is that all the nurses that work for the Mass General Hospital labor and delivery unit are able to do those screenings for postpartum depression?
Yes, we ask patients questions about if they're suffering from depression or anxiety, and if they have any feelings of wanting to harm themselves or anyone else. That's a standard admission question.
And if these patients respond that, yes, they are having issues with depression, anxiety, or wanting to harm themselves or others, what do you do with those patients? Do you refer them somewhere, or do you give them materials? What do you do?
Well, we would talk more about their symptoms with them, and then the first step would probably to be alert the provider who's caring for them, either the doctor or the nurse midwife in our setting, and get social work involved.
Now, while you were working at Mass General Hospital, did you work with Lindsay Clancy?
Yes, I did.
How long did you work with her?
The whole time she worked on our unit, which I believe was 7 years.
And so when you say our unit, she also worked in labor and delivery with you, is that correct?
Yes.
And in addition to seeing her at work, would you also socialize with her occasionally outside of work?
Occasionally, yes.
Directing your attention to after Ms. Clancy gave birth to Callan, which May of 2022, so after May of 2022, did you reach out to her, talk to her in any way?
Yes, I saw Lindsay twice from when Callan was born until January. I saw her in June and in November, and we would send each other text messages.
When you saw her in June, where was that?
That was at her home. I brought some lunch for her and visited with her and the baby, and Patrick and Dawson were home.
And how was Lindsay's demeanor during that visit?
Very good.
Was she her typical self?
Yes.
And how long was that visit for, approximately?
Maybe 2 hours or something like that.
And you said the next time you saw her was in November of 2022, is that correct?
Correct.
And where was that?
It was a restaurant in Hingham. We met for lunch.
And when you met with her for lunch in November of 2022, did Ms. Clancy talk to you about some issues she was having with sleep and anxiety?
Yes, she did.
What did she tell you about that?
During the lunch specifically, I don't remember her exact symptoms. Our conversation surrounded her upcoming return to work, and Lindsay was feeling that she wasn't in a mental state ready to go and take care of patients. She talked about insomnia and some not feeling herself. I believe she might have used the words like brain fog or something like that.
And while you were having lunch with her and having this discussion, did you ever have any trouble understanding what she was saying?
No.
Did she ever appear to have difficulty understanding what you were saying in response?
No.
Was there anything different about her speech pattern?
Not that I recall.
When you were discussing these issues with Lindsay about having some insomnia and being concerned about going back to work, did you give her any advice or do anything to help?
Yes, it was myself and 2 other nurses that we work with who Lindsay was friends with outside of work, and we were all encouraging her to get the help and support that she needed with medication if needed and therapists, and giving her any ideas we could think of in our personal and professional lives that may help her.
And did Lindsay tell you that she was looking to find some type of medication that would help her sleep and help her with her anxiety?
Yes, I believe we talked about medication, and she was going to be meeting with a new therapist shortly.
And during this conversation or after it happened, did you ever have any concerns about her harming herself?
No,
Did you ever have any concerns about her harming the children?
no.
Did you give her some names of obstetrics or social workers?
I did. After our lunch, I recall that I reached out to another friend of mine who had a pregnancy loss that was challenging for her and had met with obstetrical specific social workers and support groups. And I asked that woman, could you share those names? And I sent them to Lindsay.
Did you have some text messages between yourself and Lindsay around Thanksgiving of 2022 in which she told you about a program she was going to try?
We did have text messages around Thanksgiving. I believe the program you're referring to was something that her mother-in-law had told her about at South Shore Hospital that was more specific to perinatal issues rather than a general social worker, someone who specialized in this area.
What does perinatal mean?
During pregnancy, birth, and after birth.
So this was a program more focused on women either during their pregnancy, while birth, during birth, or right after birth, as far as you know?
I mean, as far as I understood it, I just understood it to mean someone who was familiar more with postpartum depression or anxiety, was my understanding.
Okay. And did you also receive some text messages from Lindsay Clancy right after New Year's on January 2nd, 2023?
Yes, I did.
And can you tell us what that exchange was?
Again, that was with myself and Lindsay and the two other nurses who she had confided in, and we asked her how her holidays were and could we get together again in the new year. And she said, I can't get together right now because I'm involved in an intensive program, but hopefully soon.
Okay. And did she wish you a Happy New Year?
She may have, I do not recall.
And did she tell you that she was, in fact, at that time at McLean Hospital, or did she just leave it more vague that it was just an intense program?
I believe it was an intense program. I did not know the name of the facility at that time.
Did you at that time know that she was currently at a hospital?
I don't recall what I knew then versus what I know now.
Did you also speak with Lindsay on January 23rd, 2023?
I did not speak to Lindsay. I sent her a text message on January 23rd.
And what did you say in your text message?
I'm paraphrasing, but I believe I said, hi, I've been thinking of you, wondering if you're still in the daily program, I believe I said, so maybe I didn't realize it was inpatient. And she responded.
And what was her response?
Again, I'm paraphrasing, but she said something like, I'm no longer in the program. I'm continuing to work with my psychiatrists to find the right medication that will allow me to sleep at night but still function during the day. I've had a lot of bad or negative side effects from the medication, so I've had to come off of them and go on new ones, and it's been very difficult. Okay. Or has taken a long time or something like that.
Okay. And after those text messages that were exchanged on the 23rd, did you have any concerns that she was going to harm herself?
No.
The tone of the text messages, were they more positive and hopeful that things were going to work out on the right medications?
I don't know that they were more positive than previous times. I believe that Lindsay was always hopeful that she would get the care that she was seeking, so I don't know that the tone was different that day.
But it wasn't a negative tone, it was that same kind of hopeful tone?
Yes, as far as I remember.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Katrina Reddington.
Morning.
Good morning.
So even during the, let's say, the difficult times that she had, she was always trying to be hopeful and always tried to have a positive outlook on her health.
That was my impression, yes.
And you obviously are a good friend.
Yes, I believe so.
And you've known her for what, 7 years? 9 years now, right?
Yes, I believe since 2015, if that's when she began working at Mass General.
Right. So she was like a 24-year-old kid when she first started there, right?
Yes.
And you basically knew her right out of nursing school, all the way up through,
yes,
till she finally had the baby, the last baby, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us, what was her work ethic? Was she a good nurse? Was she a caring nurse? Tell us what your observations were. Granted that you're a friend and you might be biased, but tell us what you thought.
Yes. Lindsay loved being a nurse and was excellent at it. It was a second degree for her to go to nursing school. And you could tell with Lindsay it was more of a calling, that she really cared so deeply, specifically about caring for pregnant women and women giving birth. She was very attentive to all of her patients' needs. She was very smart, and mostly she was incredibly nurturing and caring.
Thank you. And during the period of time in the fall of 2022 up through Thanksgiving of 22 and then into 23, you obviously, as a good friend, stayed in close contact with her, texting, seeing her, dinner, lunches, and everything, right?
Yes.
And then when you and some of the other nurses would go to a lunch, for example, if I understand correctly, on one of the luncheons that you had in the fall of 22, she was telling or sharing with you the fact that she was going through a difficult period.
Yes.
Told you that she was not in a good mental state, that she had a lot of insomnia, and she even described it as brain fog, right?
Yes, I believe so. She definitely used those words in our text messages, as the fall progressed, but I believe she used those words during the lunch. She definitely said that she was in a difficult mental place and didn't think she'd be able to go back to work.
And she told you that she was actually actively treating with medical personnel. Did she say a psychiatrist, psychologist, or just seeing doctors, or what did she say?
Yes, she talked about therapists. She talked about going on medication. At some point in that month of November, she said she had even gone to the emergency department.
Did she tell you that she was having negative side effects with the medication that she had been prescribed by these doctors?
She did. She did not elaborate on the side effects, but she did say that multiple times.
So as close as you were for all those years working together, and you guys worked together through the COVID too, right?
Yes.
Is that a bonding experience for nurses?
Yes.
During that period of time, did you ever observe her? Was she a complainer? Like, would she come and complain to you, or was she pretty much private but would share her opinions of what was happening inside of her with you?
She was not a complainer about work or home or anything, but we were friends, and she did share more personal details with me.
And when she was working, would you guys be working on the night shift, or would you work in the afternoon? Or
the night shift.
Night shift.
Mm-hmm.
So did you ever see her go on her phone and access cameras to see what was going on at home with the babies or anything like that?
Yes.
Is that something that she would do on a regular basis, staying in touch with the family and looking at the cameras?
Yes.
Did she ever tell you why she was doing that?
Not specifically.
Okay. She, to your appearance or to your observation, appeared to be very concerned about her kids, right?
Yes.
Did you ever hear her complain that she wanted to leave behind the life that she had and basically move on, something better?
Oh, no. Lindsay, from the time I met her as a young woman, very much desired to be a mother and have a family.
And she did share with you that her mother-in-law actually referred her to somebody for some help as well, correct?
Yes.
In the holiday period, you guys stayed in touch again. You were texting her, and that's when she was, now we know she was in McLean Hospital, but she told you she was in an intensive program, right?
Correct.
In other words, she didn't say, I can't go to lunch with you guys because I'm in a mental hospital. She basically said, I'm treating my problems.
Correct.
To your years of dealing with Lindsay and seeing her with her kids and her family, what's your opinion of her as a mother?
Lindsay was a very loving, caring mother. This is exactly what she wanted to have. She wanted a big family. She was happy to have her children close in age.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The redirect?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Please step
Thank
down.
you.
Commonwealth calls Bethany DeCalvis.
Good morning, ma'am. Can you stop right there and raise your right hand to the clerk, please?
Good morning. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony in the evidence you shall give to the court, which are in the matter now, will be the Commonwealth and the defendant, I shall be the truth, the whole truth. You may have a seat.
Watch your step, please.
All right. Good morning.
Good morning.
Counsel?
Thank you. Can you please state and spell your name for the record?
Bethany DeColibus, BETHANY DECOLLIBUS.
And your date of birth?
6/29/89.
What do you do for work?
I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist.
And do you have your own practice?
I do have a private practice.
How long have you been in this line of work?
I've had the private practice for about 6 years, but I've been licensed for close to 12.
And in your practice, do you do in-person therapy or telehealth therapy?
I do telehealth therapy right now.
Do you know Lindsay Clancy?
I do.
How do you know her?
We were friends, met as new moms in the same town.
Would that be Duxbury?
Yes.
And how often would you see her?
I'd say probably weekly.
And where would that occur?
Our kids were involved in similar activities, music classes, gymnastics classes. We'd schedule play dates.
What was her typical demeanor?
She was active, engaged, friendly.
Did you ever notice any distinctive changes in her rate of speech or the way she spoke?
No.
Did you ever see any extreme changes in energy or weird behavior?
No changes in weird behavior, but I did notice that she appeared more tired.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Could you repeat that?
You could state that again.
Oh, I was answering the second part of your question. I didn't notice any changes in behavior, but I did notice her appearing more tired over time.
And was that after she had Callan or before that?
Afterwards.
And how often would you see her after she had Callan?
Weekly.
So still going to the same types of places where you would run into her and engage with her. Is that correct?
Yes.
And other than seeming more tired, was there any other change in her demeanor or personality or behavior?
No.
Did she tell you during that time that she was having trouble sleeping?
Yes.
And did she give you any specifics on that?
Just that it was very difficult to get sleep, difficult to fall asleep even when kids were asleep, and that it was an ongoing struggle.
Did that cause concern for you at that point?
I think for a period of time, it felt normal, but after it seemed to continue and not let up for her, I definitely worried about her and was concerned.
When you say it seemed normal, what do you mean by that at first?
I would say for a period of time seemed reminiscent of, sleep troubles that, I remember having and that, remember friends talking about. But I think over time, I started to worry more and realize that it wasn't improving for her.
And what you're talking about, is it, typically after having a baby, new moms are tired from, late night feedings and changings and all of that?
Yes.
And then with Lindsay, she stayed tired?
Yes.
Okay. Did she talk to you about seeking out help from doctors?
She did.
And did she talk to you about seeking out medication to help?
Yes.
And do you recall any specifics about those conversations, about what types of doctors or what types of medication she was seeking?
I don't know about the different types of doctors or the types of medications.
Did you ever talk to her and she relayed that she was looking to find a therapist?
Yes.
And do you know if she ever found a therapist?
At some point, it did sound like she had found a provider to work with.
Being a therapist yourself, did you ever offer to give some referrals or anything like that, or did she ask for any?
I can't remember.
And you said that she continued to appear tired, correct?
Yes.
But other than appearing tired, as the weeks went by, did you observe her having any problem interacting with people or doing the typical behaviors that you would do at the events you would usually see her at?
No.
Did she appear to have any trouble doing day-to-day tasks or interacting with anyone?
Not that I saw.
Did she ever tell you that she was depressed or suicidal?
No.
Did she ever tell you that she had thoughts of harming anyone else?
No.
Did her physical appearance change in any way?
Not that I noticed.
When you would engage with her, have conversations with her, were they usually in person or text or both?
It was a mix of both.
And did you ever have trouble understanding her, either in person or in a text?
No.
Did she ever appear to have trouble understanding you?
No.
At some point in time, did you have dinner with Lindsay and a woman named Erin Renault sometime in November?
Yes.
And was that something that the three of you typically did?
Yes.
How often would you do that?
Probably once every couple of months.
Was this the first time you'd done that since Callan was born?
I can't remember.
Okay. And what was Lindsay's demeanor during that dinner?
She was engaged in conversation with us.
Do you recall saying previously that she seemed normal?
No.
You don't recall saying that?
Not specifically, no.
What about her speech pattern? Was there anything different about her speech pattern?
No.
What did you guys talk about during that dinner?
I remember catching up as we usually did, giving each other updates on, what our kids had been up to, what our families had been up to. And I also made it a point to check in with her about how her sleep was and how she had been feeling lately.
And did she give you responses to those questions?
She did.
Did they make sense?
The responses made sense.
Yeah. What was the tone of this conversation?
I'm not sure how to answer that question.
Well, when you're asking her about how things are going with her sleep and other things, and she's responding, does she seem negative and depressed about things? Does she seem hopeful about things? Like, what's the tone?
It was a serious conversation. I was concerned and wanted to check in. It had sounded like she had been able to connect with some providers, and I would say at that point, I remember her expressing feeling hopeful about the possibility that things could start to get better.
And during this conversation at dinner, did she ever mention that she had suicidal thoughts?
No.
Did she ever mention that she had homicidal thoughts?
No.
Did she ever tell you that she was hearing voices?
No.
Did she ever tell you that she was having intrusive thoughts of her own?
No.
At any point in time while you're engaging with her, did it look like she was responding to something internally, like a voice, or seeing something that wasn't there?
No.
Other than having an issue with sleep, did she mention any other issues that she was having?
She mentioned feeling anxious.
And after this dinner, did you next see her at Cora's birthday party in January?
Yes.
And at that birthday party, did you see her interacting with other people and parents and children, as a mom would usually do at a birthday party?
Yes.
Did you interact with her yourself?
I did.
Did you notice anything different about her demeanor or her behavior at that party?
No.
Did you have a conversation with her briefly about sleep?
I did.
And was it you basically asking how the sleep issue was going?
Yes.
And what was her response?
She responded that things haven't gotten any better and that she feels like a zombie.
Was there anything about her appearance or the way she was interacting or behaving that when you saw her, you thought she looks like a zombie?
She seemed tired.
But there's a difference between being tired and looking like a zombie, right?
She didn't look like a zombie, no.
And she was able to engage with you and the other parents there, engage with her children and the other children, correct?
She was.
And do you recall stating previously that at the party she seemed fine?
And no, not specifically.
Page 11. Have you look at page 11 and bottom line 24, and then to the top of page 12. Does that refresh your memory as to a conversation you had with the police back in 2023 where you said that she seemed fine at the party?
Sure, yeah.
I have no other questions, thank you.
Mr. Bennington.
So, morning.
Morning.
Fair to say that you were obviously pretty good friends with Lindsay?
Yes.
And fair to say that in that regard, you had occasion to observe objectively things like she looked tired, she was complaining that she was tired.
Yes.
Said that she was anxious.
Yes.
Told you that at one point towards the end time frame into January that she felt like a zombie. Correct?
Yes.
Did you ask her any questions like the district attorney was asking you? Did you ask her, well, what are your symptoms and what do you feel like? And what do you is there anything that you can tell me about how you feel? Did you probe in that regard?
I don't remember probing about specific symptoms, no.
So in other words, you're friends, and you and Erin and Lindsay were out to dinner or lunch, and you're trying to have a good time, right?
Yes.
How was she as a mother to your observations? Did she, as far as taking care of her kids, being happy with the kids, did she not like her kids? What were your observations?
She loved her kids. She was warm, kind, consistent, loving.
And you actually were summoned to be here today by the district attorney's office, correct?
I was.
And you actually were interviewed by the state police. That's what she was questioning you about, page 11 and page 12. It was a recorded interview and things of that nature, right?
Yes.
Would you agree with me that although she may not have been telling you that she was seeing something that wasn't there, or hearing voices or drooling or acting in some unusual fashion while you guys were out having lunch, she did express to you that she was having some difficulties, correct?
She expressed that she was having difficulty, yes.
And would you say, knowing Lindsay as you did, that she was the type that was not really a complainer? She would not try to be a downer when you're out to lunch and having a good time with your friends and complain about her symptoms?
No.
But she did tell you that she was somewhat hopeful because she was seeing healthcare providers?
Yes.
And one of the things that they had asked you about, fair to say that when you talked to the police, you told them that you had spent a lot of time chatting about, over this period of time, that she had been having a lot of trouble sleeping, and that she referenced the postpartum period, right?
Yes.
And when you were talking to the police, the troopers, did they try to divert you? Did you feel that they were trying to get what your observations were, or did they want you to focus on their questions when they were questioning you?
Could you repeat that?
No, it's a bad question. Never mind. It's a bad question. I'm sorry. But nevertheless, you actually told them that you had been in touch with her. You'd been to the house, right?
I had been in touch with her, yes.
Yeah, and you knew Patrick.
Yes.
Other than socializing with your friends and with Erin and going out to lunches, you guys would also text, correct?
Yes.
I mean, that's a way of keeping in touch with each other.
Yes.
And she would respond to your inquiries about fun things and about kids, right?
Yes.
But also, on occasion, you were concerned about her and you'd ask her how she's doing, right?
Yes.
And when you would ask her those things, she would tell you, for example, that she didn't know what medications were doing to her, but she in fact mentioned to you that the medications did not appear as though they were helping, and she still wasn't able to get any sleep.
Correct.
And further, in the statements that you gave to the police when they were asking you questions about your observations, she did indicate on a couple of occasions that she had obtained a therapist and a prescriber, and she would reference her relationship with Pat and tell you that Pat's great, things like that, right?
Yes.
You said yes? I'm sorry, the door
Yes.
closed. So in those occasions, did she ever complain about Pat, or would they seem to be getting along pretty good?
They seem to be getting along great.
Was he supportive to your observations of her?
Yes.
Then when you went out to the other dinner, did you indicate to the police that in that conversation that her mother knows everything, or she told you, my mom knows everything, and she's working it out as far as the therapist and the drugs, correct?
Yes.
And you still felt that it was readily apparent that she was struggling, right?
Yes.
Still having difficulty sleeping and being anxious, right?
Yes.
And as a friend, you were concerned, right?
I was concerned, yes.
Now, one of the questions the DA had asked you is that she was supposed to go back to work, and that she indicated that she had canceled that date to go back to work because she still wasn't sleeping well. Is that right?
She had, yes.
And those were her words, that she canceled going back to work because she still wasn't sleeping well.
Yes.
Did she ever talk to you about work? Did she seem to like her job as a labor and delivery nurse?
She loved it, as far as I knew.
And then you were at Cora's birthday party in January, is that correct?
Yes.
And that was the one that was at the trampoline park, right?
Yes.
And it was that time, and that would have been in January of 23, I believe, that it was in that time that you were concerned and you said, hey, are you getting any sleep? And she was like, no, I feel like a zombie, is what her words were, correct?
Yes.
Is that the last time you saw her?
Yes.
Thank you.
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, ma'am. You may step down. Counsel, why don't we take a brief recess at this time? So we're going to take the morning recess at this point.
Court, all rise, please. Jurors, no votes. Chairs, this way.
Council, anything we need to talk about before the break?
No,
All right,
thank you.
so we'll be in recess at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Court, all rise.
Court is back in session. You may be seated.
Your Honor, for the purpose of the record, we return back to the matter of Commonwealth versus Lindsay Clancy. All parties are present, including the jury. Including the defendant, excluding the jury.
All right. Counsel, ready for the jury?
Yes.
All right, bring them in. Counsel, can I see it sidebar just very briefly?